And we're live. What's going on, folks? Overlay Fantasy Sports time. So had a number of requests already this morning to make an overlay video about the matchup shop. In regard to the Rams taking on the Bears tonight, we got a couple of plays at our disposal. So what I want to do first is just talk about the promotion that we have going with overlay. Just take me a few seconds. Then we'll go through the picks. And then at the end, I just want to kind of go through a review of like some of the contests I've entered lately, why I chose that one, whether it worked or didn't work. You know, my strategy on this website changes depending on, my confidence leveling and how I want to play it. So we'll run through some of that at the end for those of you who want to stick around. Outside of that, guys, if you could, click the thumbs up button. It helps spread me around YouTube. It's appreciated. I would love to make this show more interactive. If you have thoughts or opinions on any of these plays, feel free to put that in the comment section below. That all being said, guys, the way that the cross promotion works that we have with overlay is quite simple. If you would be a brand new player, this is not for existing players, unfortunately, just for people who have heard us mention it and talk about it, have yet to actually sign up. Make your initial deposit. Just screenshot your initial deposit so I see how much it is. Email it to me at the email below. Send it to me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, however it is that's easiest you think to get a hold of me. And I will get you a free 5-pack membership. If it's a $50 deposit, 2 weeks. $100 deposit, free month. $500 deposit, free year. $1,000 deposit, free lifetime membership, whatever works best for you. It's obviously it's up to you guys. I don't know how much you feel like playing on. That is completely at your discretion. So in regard to tonight's plays, you have to go over to the matchup shop on the left. You have to click enter. I think it's easiest to go to NFL. And then you're going to see that we currently have 5 plays up at our disposal. Trying to figure out which one to use. And I'll be completely frank with you guys, just in the interest of honesty, these are some tougher ones. I don't think I have one on here that I'm specifically going to go like all in on. Like I was very confident on Wentz versus Daniel Jones the other night. And even though it didn't work out like I thought it was, we got the win, but it wasn't the easy win that I thought. It was exciting. I had a great time playing it. Put like $100 on it, wherever it was. And it worked out well. On a situation like this, I like to run more of like a GPP strategy, and that is to hit up some parlays, go for bigger bang on my dollar. If I got one that I'm really confident, I play it more like a cash game where I go very aggressive on the one play. I was a little bit more, when this first came out, a little bit more strict on the plays, but I love it and I enjoy playing it so much that I really struggle not to just bet on everything over and over again, which the discipline part can be difficult. So for me, I will definitely run some parlays tonight. Try to go for a little bit of a bigger score if I can get these bad boys right. So starting with the quarterbacks, you got Foles +3 against Jared Goff. I think Overlay did a great job with the +3. I think that is about a perfect rating for where you're going to want to be in a situation like this. Now, gun to head, I have to pick one. I'm going to go with Jared Goff. Home team, favored to score more points. And coming off of a bad performance, I expect to see better Jared Goff tonight. So I usually prefer betting the underdog and taking the points, but in this situation, I think Goff, I got him as like a 4 or a 5-point favorite in my mind. So I think that the 3 makes a lot of sense. I would tend to go with Jared Goff right here. Next up, I got David Montgomery against Allen Robinson. And this is a tough one because Robinson is the better fantasy play most weeks. However, the Rams are susceptible to the ground game more so than the passing game. And they specifically are very good against number 1 wide receivers because they have arguably the best cover cornerback in the game in Jalen Ramsey. So again, this might be one of the only games where you're going to get Robinson getting a point against David Montgomery. How good do you think Jalen Ramsey is? Will Nick Foles continue to go to him? It's worth reiterating, this is a half-point PPR website. And I kind of feel like Robinson's going to be in for a game of like 5 for 50. I think it's going to be one of his worst games in the year, which would come out to about 7.5 points right here, which means we would need to get David Montgomery to 8.5 points to be the victor in this one. Well, I kind of expect Montgomery to get about 50 points, and I kind of expect him to come in, 4 catches for 20 yards. So coming in about 8 points versus about 7.5. So again, I think the point's about right. Who's going to score? I think you're more likely to see Montgomery score. So Again, I'm going to bet the favorite right here. I'm going to go with David Montgomery. I don't feel good about it, though. It's not one that I have extreme confidence in, simply because it's hard to bet on Montgomery. I think Robinson's got a tough spot, but I think Overlay nailed the -1+1 here. I think they did it right. Should be a good one. All right, next up from there, Cooper Kupp versus Robert Woods. I would almost always take Robert Woods +1 right here, but I like little Cooper Kupp tonight. Quick passes to a slot wide receiver against a good pass rush. Kupp's coming off his worst game of the year. I think they make it a point to get him going early. Give me Cooper Kupp right here. I am SOL if Woods catches a touchdown, which can't happen. I think he has 4 of them already this year, only 2 for Kupp. But I'm going to bet on Cooper Kupp. This is very unusual for me. I don't like usually giving points, but I'm now giving points 3 times. I will, however, take the points down here with Josh Reynolds and Tyler Higbee. Higbee is listed as questionable, but is expected to play tonight. Other than the good game against Buffalo, I'm just not impressed. I think it was a mirage, what we saw from him down the stretch last year. He has been slightly outplayed by Gerald Everett over the last couple of weeks. So give me Josh Reynolds and the points right here. And then we get down to Daryl Henderson against Malcolm Brown. I lean on the fact that I expect the Rams to play well, and I expect them to pound it with Daryl Henderson. I think Henderson's going to score tonight. I like the idea of Brown in GPPs, as I brought up in DK, but once again, I'm going to give the points on here with Daryl Henderson. And I am going to run a 5-person parlay. Yes, you're not going to hit a lot of five-pick parlays. You're just not. They're hard. But I don't have one here that I'm just beaming with confidence where I can tell you guys, go all in on this one. We'll talk about it when we run through our strategy after this. But I want to take a chance at getting, some real money. So you can see these pay out well. On $1, you're getting about 18 times your money. So in a situation like this, I'm not going to bet it big, but let's try to have some fun. I'm going to put a 5 spot on it. If you want to bet bigger on it, that's awesome. Go do your thing. I'm taking a chance at a $90 payday off of $5. If you're a smaller bettor and you want to do $1, cool. It's your money. If you want to do $500, awesome. I encourage you going for a big score like that. So I will watch these lines, though, throughout the day. And if something changes at my advantage, like if all of a sudden I'm getting a point with Cooper Kupp, now you're going to start seeing me putting a little bit more money in. And again, I want to reiterate, this is a half-point PPR website. So that should tell you how much I believe in Cooper Kupp tonight. All right, so let's take a look at some of our completed contests from yesterday. Again, I did not have one that I looked at as a slam dunk last night. I should have bet Lockett over Metcalf. I was pretty bullish on that one, and I didn't put a bigger bet in. That's a little disappointing to me. So I ran the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 17-person parlay. I got 5 and 2. That doesn't pay anything, right? You got to get them all right. Kind of screwed by Carson getting hurt against Carlos Hyde, although I had Hyde in my showdown lineup, so that didn't completely hurt. Didn't get it right. So on Sunday, bet Hilaire over Josh Jacobs. Got it right. Paid out well. I'm never going to bet Jacobs against Tampa Bay because he's really only incorporated in the running game. He's very hit or miss in the passing game. I expected Tampa Bay to roll here a little bit. It's a bad matchup for the Raiders. Just not a good spot for him. So we went Edwards-Hilaire. I would have gone bigger on this if I had had any idea how they were going to utilize Le'Veon Bell yesterday. I didn't know. That's why it was only a $10 bet. If I had heard Bell's only getting a few touches, I would have been on this one a lot more. Below that, and I liked Edwards-Hilaire because it was a snow game, which is the same reason I took Josh Allen over Patrick Mahomes. In fact, I ran it in a bigger parlay as well. Clearly that did not work out, but I bet it twice. I bet it for 30 at a +2, and I bet it for 25 at a +2. So off that 55, took home $99. Happy with that. Kyla Allen versus Andy Dalton. This is another one that, in hindsight, it worked out really well, partly because Andy Dalton got hurt. But put 20 on it, paid back 36. I'll pick anybody against that Dallas defense, right? We're going to just kind of cruise through the baseball stuff. We're more worried about football in this situation. So you can see, though, a Rosarina with a couple of late hits to beat Austin Meadows has been a lot of fun. Because he's gotten 2 victories in 2 games in the ninth inning, which is just fun, right? You're on the edge of your seat trying to get after that money. So going back to Thursday, I liked Golden Tate over Slayton, knowing that Slayton was going to have Slay. And I also liked Deshaun Jackson over Travis Fulgham. That was a winner, just a double parlay. The big one was Carson Wentz over Daniel Jones. That was a late hustle. That was exciting. That had me on the edge of my seat. That was a really, really good time. 75, brought back 135. Also ran the parlay. Gallman was getting so many points over Freeman. The injury made that happen. But a $5 bet brought back 30. Carson Wentz, 10 brought back 32 with Wentz over Jones and Gronk over Ingram. And then I also bet Gronk individually twice, a 15 and a 40, to bring back $99 right here as well. So overall, been a solid couple of days. I really liked a couple of those Thursday ones, so I went a little bit more aggressively. I think it's a little easier to pick and choose your spots right here, which is one of the fun parts about Overlay. It's been a good time. I would encourage everybody to enter the matchup shop. And I'll just tell you, as far as the $22 progressive one with the $13,000 jackpot, I went 8-4 yesterday. I did not get in the money. I did get illusions of grandeur, though, because I checked this early on in the afternoon games. At that point, Gurley had a good day. I thought Gurley was money over James Robinson. Turns out Robinson was just better. But at this point, I felt good about the Gurley pick. Clearly, I was way off. The other one was Kelsey over Tyreek Hill. Hill caught the late touchdown. This one was close the whole time. It was at this point, though, when Tampa Bay was already getting the lead and knew Jacobs was going to be phased out. Edward-Helaire had scored, so I felt really good about this. So in my mind, I'm feeling really good. And I also felt good about Jones beating Godwin. Clearly, that didn't work out. So all these, none of them worked out. It all went south very, very quickly. However, I'd already gotten Hunt over Zeke. I felt great about Gibson's big day over George Kittle. I'm sitting there looking for a Hunter Henry touchdown. But A.J. Green had a big day. Melvin Gordon, I thought, was a lock over Judy. Allen over Mahomes. Stafford over Tannehill. Allen over Dalton. I had all wins, and everything else looked like I had a chance to win. So I started having those delusions of grandeur where you could go 12-0 and win the $13,000. Clearly, I did even get close, but it was fun. And that's kind of like the tournament breakdown of what they're looking for is you start really thinking it's possible. Again, didn't end up even close. But at one point during the afternoon, I happened to look at the exact right time and start looking at this so that I thought, like, maybe, just maybe I'm going to get there. Again, it went south really, really quickly. Robinson easily passed Gurley with like a monster. I believe it was the second quarter. So I didn't really have to sit there and loom for too long. And then I was just trying to get into the money. And when Hill caught that touchdown and Godwin caught his touchdown, it wasn't feeling too good anymore. So that's that, fellas. I appreciate y'all watching this. If you can click the thumbs up button, it's always appreciated. Feel free to make this a little bit more interactive, too. If you got any plays you really like for tonight, I would love to hear everybody's thoughts. Clearly, I'm a little different than my normal strategy tonight, so maybe I'm just dead wrong. It's happened before. It'll happen again, but feel free to weigh in with your thoughts. Have a great Monday, and I'll talk to you guys again soon.